Hello. We are a group made by Palmira Fernández, Deborah de Andrés, and Carmen Sanchez, and we are going to explain our unit plan based on the book The Mama's Nightingale. First of all, I'm going to start saying that this book is for students on 6th grade. Our objectives are divided into two groups. First of all, we have some general objectives, and then we have some specific objectives. The general objectives are to teach how to make an infographic, and the second one is to teach about immigration and refugees. Specific objectives are divided also into 5 types: cognitive, psychomotor, affective, learning strategies, and methodology. The cognitive ones are to understand what an infographic is, then to learn about visual rhetoric, these being the colors, structures, etc. And then learn how to write a letter. Also, to learn how to memorize specific vocabulary on refugees. Psychomotor objectives are how to apply visual rhetoric on an infographic, how to use technology, how to write a letter, predict a story plot, and to illustrate language through images and body language, how to produce English language with writing and speaking, to develop fluency, to teach and explain arguments, to develop effective communication and teamwork skills. Also the affective, and this is very important to learn about the importance of visual rhetoric and the infographic, empathy and own emotions, to value teamwork, to respect others and the rules, and also about the learning strategies. This can be direct and indirect. The direct ones are cognitive and memoristic. The cognitive ones are detail reading, and memoristic principles of writing. Then the indirect are social, affective, and metacognitive. The social, such as working in groups, affective, talking about feelings, and metacognitive, brainstorming, for example. And methodological learning, competency-based learning, gamification, social learning, and scaffolding.
Hello everybody! Today we're going to read a new picture book. Its name is Mama's Nightingale, a story of immigration and separation. This book was written by Edwidge Danticat and the illustrations were made by Leslie Staub. Are you ready to have fun? Let's go! When Mama first goes away, what I miss most is the sound of her voice. At night, while Papa's asleep, I sneak out of bed to listen to Mama's greeting on our answering machine. Tampirikite bonit nuveil bo no. Please, leave us good news. One night, I accidentally raised the greeting, and I can no longer hear Mama say those cheerful words that always make me feel so warm inside. We have no good news. For the last 3 months, Mama's been at Sunshine Correction, a prison for women without papers. When I ask Papa, what kind of papers does Mama need? He says, papers that say she belongs in this country. And can Mama have my papers? I ask. She can't. When I ask Papa, when is Mama coming home? He says, you know, Saya, Mama loves you and Bill, very, very much. She'd never stay away too long if she could help it. Every night, after he makes dinner for us and helps me with my homework, Papa sits at the kitchen table and writes letters to the judges who send people without papers to jail. He also writes to our mayor, our congresswomen, and all the newspapers and television reporters he's ever heard of. No one ever writes him back. Papa and I visit Mama every weekend. When she sees me, Mama runs to me, picks me up, and hugs me real tight. I miss you, Uziol, Mama says while pretending to bite my cheek. Uziol is Mama's nickname for me. In Mama's Haitian stories, a Uziol is a beautiful nightingale who loves the taste of a sweet cottony fruit called a soursop. Just like I do. The Uziol also keeps mean old witches from eating little children by distracting them with her beautiful song. Mama leans over and hums the Uziol song in my ear. The melody is as soft as Mama's touch and as sweet as a real soursop. When Mama stops humming, she asks me about school and whether Papa and I are taking good care of each other. I sit on her lap and breathe in the smell of coconut pomade in her hair as she and Papa talk. Gotta go, folks, one of the guards says when it's time to take Mama away. I kick and I scream and beg to stay with her. Tears run down Mama's face as she's led away. The two guards on either side of her give me very stern looks. One of them tells Papa not to bring me again until I can behave myself. In the car on the way home, I miss Mama so much. My belly aches. I fall asleep and dream of the visit. Except in my dream, Mama comes home with Papa and me. A few days later, a package arrived in the mail from Mama. In the envelope is a letter for Papa, and for me, a cassette with a card that says, Yomitsu ha dado po Saya, a bedtime story for Saya. That night, Papa tucks me in, then puts his old tape recorder by my bed. It's exactly like the one he brought to Mama when she was first taken to jail. He pushes the play button and tiptoes out of my room. Suddenly, the room is filled with Mama's wine-time voice singing about the soursop and the nightingale. At the end of the song, Mama tells me a new bedtime story, one she made up herself. It's about a mommy nightingale who goes on a very long journey and is looking for a rainbow trail in the sky so she can return home to her baby nightingale. I close my eyes and imagine Mama lying next to me as she leans in to whisper the nightingale story in my ear. I imagine Mama tucking me in, kissing me good night, then going to sleep in the next room with Papa. The next time we visit Mama, I do my best not to cry. I sit on her lap and kiss her whole face. I don't ask when she's coming home because she doesn't know either. After that visit, a new tape with a new story arrives at the house every week. Sometimes the stories are as sad as melted ice cream. Other times they are as happy as a whole day at the beach. One day I sit next to Papa while he is writing one of his many long letters. We listen to Mama's voice together. When the room is quiet again, I ask Papa, "When is Mama coming home?" He looks like he's going to get angry, but then he bites his lower lip. "You know, Saya, Mama loves you until very, very much." He begins telling me, then stops. He suddenly looks sadder than sad, as though Mama might never come home again. "Papa, can I write letters too?" I ask. "Of course," he says. "You can write your own story." I take Papa's advice, sit down, and write my own story. When I am done, Papa sends what I have written to one of the newspaper reporters he's been writing to. A few days later, there is a message on our answering machine. The message is from a lady reporter saying that she wants to print my story in the newspaper for everyone to read. The next day, another reporter comes to our apartment to interview Papa and me for the television. With a big lump in my throat, I tell her how much I miss Mama and how I wish she could be with us again. Papa tells the television reporter how Mama was arrested by the immigration police while working in a restaurant and how she might be sent back to Haiti at any time. Mama came to America before she met Papa and before I was born, and she doesn't have the right papers. Not yet, anyway. In a week's time, because of all the phone calls and the letters to the prison from people who read about us in the newspaper and saw us on TV, Mama is brought before a judge. The judge says Mama can't come home with Papa and me while she's waiting for her papers. Sitting in the courtroom with Papa, I'm so happy and proud. I feel like running up to the bench and giving the judge a big hug. Finally, Mama is home with us. At bedtime, Mama asks me which of her stories I would most like to hear. I pick my favorite one, the one about the mommy nightingale who skips over rainbows trying to get home. How does the story end? I ask Mama, even though I already know the answer. A smart, and brave little nightingale helps her mommy find the right rainbow trail, Mama says, and the mommy follows it home. I like the way Mama's and my story ends too. I like that it is our words that brought us together again.
Hi, okay, let's do the final activity for this video. So we're gonna write a letter, right? I have here a YouTube video that is gonna help us to see how we have to write a letter, right? So we're gonna go and watch the YouTube video now that I have here. So in this video, they basically explain, as you can see here, that there is a formal letter and an informal letter, right? And you see here, you write an informal letter to your grandmother, your grandparent, your parents, your siblings, your friends, somebody you know, right? And you write a formal letter, as you can see here, to people who you basically don't know, like for example a teacher. Well, you know your teachers, but it's better if you write it formal, right? So a doctor, a police officer, as you can see here, right? But that is not where we're interested right now, because we obviously know that it's going to be a formal letter since we are going to write this letter to a judge. So let's watch the video and let's see what we have to do.
There are 5 parts that must be included in every letter: the date, salutation or greeting, body, closing, and signature. The date goes at the top of your letter. It lets the person you are writing to know when you wrote the letter. Next, you must add the salutation or greeting. An informal or friendly letter will usually begin with "Dear," the person's name, and always ends with a comma.
It's very important that you remember to write that comma here. It's extremely important to end a sentence with that comma, okay?
After the salutation comes the body of the letter. The body is very important because it is where you communicate your thoughts, ideas, and questions.
Okay, so what she meant here is we say body of the letter, but what she meant was that you write the information that you want to talk about in that letter there. That's when that's where the information goes, guys.
The body of the letter always needs to be written in chronological order or in a sequence.
We're gonna talk about this later, okay?
The closing and signature come after the body. The closing shows the letter has ended. Depending on who you're writing to, you may say "your friend, comma, love, comma, or sincerely, comma." On the next line, after the comma, you write or sign your name or signature.
Okay, so let me connect this here. Okay, so we're gonna summarize what we just saw, and I really hope you're hearing me right now. Okay, we have to remember there's 5 important parts when we're writing a letter, right? So the first one is the date of the letter, as she said in the video. It's really important that you do this because this is gonna let the person who you're writing to see when you wrote that letter, right? As important. For example, if you write it December the 21st, is that person is gonna see, oh, she wrote this letter on December 21st, right? Then we have the greeting. It's like saying hello. It's presenting yourself, right? You can do it saying "Dear Maria," and then you write a comma. Like I said, it's really important to use this comma at the end of the sentence, right? But you don't have to say "Dear" if you don't want to. You can also say "hello" or well, "hi" you could say, but it's like I say, a formal letter, so you cannot use "hi," right? You have to use "hello," like Hello, Pablo, comma. It's really important that you use the comma. I here I wrote this example, right? Dear Maria, and then the comma. Then we have the body of the letter. Like I say, is where you write the information that you need, that you want to tell to the person you're writing to. And then, like she said in the video, it's really important that you write it in order. If you are talking about the holidays you're gonna go to with your family to the Bahamas, imagine, right? I mean, I wish, but so you want to talk about that, right? I'm going to this amazing trip with my family, and we are gonna see this and this, another thing, right? But you cannot say, yeah, I'm going to the Bahamas with my family on holidays, and I see it. My name is Pedro, or my favorite color is pink. No, you cannot do this. If you want to talk about your favorite color, then you have to do it in another paragraph, right? Separated from that. You cannot do that. Okay, it has to have an order. If you're talking about holidays, then you write about the holidays, and then you leave a space, and then you talk about your colors or whatever is it that you want to talk about, right? And then we have the closing. The closing, like you can see here, you can write sincerely, comma, but you can also write with love or your friend, comma. I mean, since this is a formal letter, you should write sincerely. But if you find another thing to close the letter, you can use it. Like I say, closing the letter is like saying goodbye to that person you're writing to, just like you say hello before, you're saying goodbye now. And then you have to sign the letter. It's just a simple sign like you do most of the time, right? Right, so with this in mind, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do in the final activity finally. I'm so sorry, guys. I know this explanation might be a little bit long, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a letter to free a person you love from jail, because as we saw in the picture book, this little girl, her mom was in jail, right, because of immigration, and so she decided to write this letter, and she wrote it and got published, and then the judge let her mom free so they could be happy together. So we're gonna imagine, right? You're gonna imagine that you have a person that you love. It could be your mom or your dad or your siblings or maybe a cousin or your grandma, right? And we're gonna imagine that they are in jail and you wanna free them. So like I said before, we're gonna write this letter to a judge, and yeah, this is basically you write a letter to a judge. So for example, you say, "Dear Judge, comma," and then you start the letter. Or you can also imagine like a name for that judge, and you can use it too. Whatever you like, it's up to you. So if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment with the questions so I can answer them. Also, I am gonna link this video right here in the description below, so you can watch it as many times as you want, because I think it's really important that you understand the steps of the letter so you don't get confused on how to write it. But then again, if you wanna leave me a comment, you know that you can do it. So that's all for today's videos. Hope you learn a lot and can't wait to see your final activities. Okay, bye.